I think of it now. So, you know, and you give him, you say, sir, you are really drunk, you wouldn't be allowed in this aircraft. Please say them. On the spot, say them. If you feel that he's not capable of standing on his own legs, tell him that he wouldn't be flying on this aircraft. Okay, and that is what I was taught by my airline. If you need, we will put you on the next aircraft. So by that time, he would be fine. So, and I had a passenger, with my experience, I had a passenger who had made a ruckus in the airport stating that no, he wants to fly on this particular air. So I was actually the supervisor of that at that time, and I had my new staff, Bachari. She was just around 19 years or something. She was checking in. This guy came at night, 10 o'clock or something. We had a flight at 10:45 or something, but he arrived 45 minutes prior. Just came, and she felt that he was actually, kind of absurd. She felt he was drunk. So she told him that he wouldn't be able to fly, but he was like, what the hell do you think of yourself that you are not, allowing me to fly on this aircraft? I have paid for you guys. You are just our servants. That this, he started scolding. So that's when this lady called me, ma'am, this guy is creating a problem. So we could hear him shouting in the entire airport, okay. His voice was so bad. Then I had to come there. I spoke to him, sir, you're drunk. And moreover, you wouldn't be able to fly because it's already been 20 minutes. The counters has been closed, so you wouldn't be able to fly. That's I told him. He's like, what do you think of yourself? Huh? He saw my name badge. He said, oh, your name is Danny. I will complain against it. I said, okay, please go ahead. My IGA number is so and so. You can put up a complaint. So now, when you are barely saying that you can put up a complaint, before he complains to your manager, you should be complaining about him to your manager. That's a knack, okay? Please be learning about that also. You should be complaining about it to your managers. Tell him that he is drunkard, so he had stopped him from flying. So this was the case. You should make him understand, because when your manager comes on the spot, he shouldn't be blank, as in he doesn't know what has happened. So before only you tell him this is the case. Even when he's coming up, obviously he will support your airline staff. He will not support anyone else. Okay. So I told him, sir, I will put you on the next flight. Okay. He said me that he has paid for the flight. I have paid so much. Okay. And you're telling me that you wouldn't be able to fly. Now I'm supposed to pay for the next flight also. He started shouting. So I said, no, you're not supposed to pay. We have an option. Okay. The managers and supervisors are having an option that they would be given a separate ID to put one passenger from one flight to the other flight. Okay. Very next flight, it only based on anything based on the conditions, certain conditions. Let's say there was an emergency and in the aircraft, he has booked his flight 1 hour prior, but the arrivation was a little late. So all this kind of things is an exceptional cases, so we can do that. But it is not done for all drunkard passengers. No, because drunkenness is not my problem. It is his problem. Sometimes he needs to be paying for a new ticket and he needs to be going. Sometimes the managers will say, okay, just give him the seat. Yeah, let him go and die. So that's what they say. So in that case, we have an option. Tell them that so-and-so is there. I will try to talk to my manager. If at all it's acceptable, then yes. But never say that we have this option. Never say that to the passengers. Okay. Just tell them we will try doing something to you. We will try helping you out. Let me talk to my manager. So that's all the thing you could do. Just go to then I had him put on the very next flight. Okay. But the whole time his flight was 4 hours late. Even after 4 hours, I don't know what sort of drink he has drunk. It has not gone down only, okay? So, but he was a little bit stable, okay? He was stable at that time. So we gave him the boarding pass and sent him to the gates after the 4 hours flight. He went to the gates. He actually didn't want to wait in the queue. So obviously boarding takes place in a certain, procedures, right? First, seat number, what do you say? Seat number, if it's a 180 flight, then seat number behind seat, that is 25 to 30 boats first, then 1 to 2 boats, like that, okay? So this guy was actually 16th row or something. So he was second. He didn't want to wait in line. He started fighting with the boarding staff. He said, what kind of staffs you are? You don't respect your customers, that, this, and all this kind of things came. Still, we said, okay, be calm. He's all fine. Let him go on board. Now, we never thought that on board he would make a ruckus. We thought, okay, once he's inside the aircraft, he would sleep off. But till then, okay, once the door has been closed, and once the aircraft has been pushed back, it's on the runway and it's taken off. This guy started making ruckus. He started teasing the cabin crew on board. Okay, some sort of misused words. Okay, so 3 times he was warned by the lead cabin crew. She said him that if at all you are not being in your senses and behaving yourself, you would be paid for it. So that was the first thing she told. Second thing also, he started teasing some cabin crew who came to give him water. So that time also the lead cabin crew. So even if you are a cabin crew of 5, let's say, you would be having one person as a lead cabin crew in them, that is the team leader. So whatever happens to the rest of the cabin crew, she would be responsible for that. So that's how the thing comes. So second time also she came and she warned them. So even now, if you're irritating my staff, you would be paid for it. That was the second warning. Even for the third time also, he it's like kind of he said something bad about the cabin crews. Okay. So third time also she came and said, sir, please control your tongue. If not, you would be paid for it. This is what she was telling calmly. All the 3 times she said very calmly, but he was not ready to listen. The fourth time also, when a cabin crew came up to him, he actually holded her hand. So all those issues was there on board, and the lead immediately informed to the captain and first officer who were there in the cockpit, stating that there is an misbehavioral passenger on board. So and so thing has happened. So captain said you need to be giving him a warning. But she said it's already been 3 times that I've given him. He is actually, irritating the staffs here. Now comes the entire game. Immediately, the captain he also lost his senses because he didn't like what was, because he is the head of that particular aircraft. He didn't want his staffs to suffer. So immediately, he was about to land in Delhi. There was a Bangalore-Delhi aircraft flight, okay? And immediately, when he was about to land, he informed the CISF, stating that there is a misbehavioral passenger on board, and so things has been happened for the cabin crews. And the CISF was there, the state police was there. Okay, when the landing happened, this guy was taken with an handcuff. Okay, I still remember it because we were doing an incident report, which we had to submit. So all these kinds of reports also, okay, this is an incident report. So all these kinds of reports needs to be submitted to DGCA. You need to be knowing, because DGCA tends to take it legally. Okay, so everything, even a small issue which is happening, should be informed to the DGCA. So if a person has been taken up with the handcuff, what is the reason? Why he was taken? At what time he arrived into the airport? Why did the staff accept him? All these kinds of things needs to be given as a report to DGCA. So we had to give a report to the DGCA, stating that he was an impaired passenger, a drunkard passenger. He was behaving in this way, that all these kinds of confusions came up. Then he was taken with a handcuff. He was punished with 3 years of imprisonment, only because he teased the cabin crew. and that was signed by the captain of the aircraft. So he is the final authority. If he has signed anything stating that yes, he agreed to this, then that has to be done. So the CISF and state police have taken him. This guy has been imprisoned for 3 years. Okay. Now that goes with the domestic flight. Now, if you talk about an international flight, that's even more crazier. You would be taken out if, let's say, if he was flying from Bangalore to Dubai. Okay. And this guy from Dubai, he's been irritating. I had all these kind of passengers. Okay. So, from Dubai, he was irritating the staff. When he landed in India, in Bangalore airport, this guy was taken by the CISF, by the state police. Now, at this stage, the customs was also there because it's an international airlines. They need to be checking his bag. They need to be checking his hand baggage. They need to be checking his check-in baggage. Okay, his hand baggage and check-in baggage were taken separately. So customs will check that on it's nothing. They will not enter into airport. Please don't keep that in mind that they will come via airport. No, they have a separate route from the ramp itself. Okay, so he would be taken from a separate route. He won't enter into the airport. So this guy, the customs came there. They checked the bag. All this was done on board itself. The cabin crew signed that he was very absurd, and the captain of the aircraft also signed that he was actually misbehaving with my staffs and things like that, and all those things. And his passport was taken by the CISF. Okay, they bought inside the security office. Okay, the CISF office, and they put a barring seal for 5 years. That is, for 5 years, he wouldn't be able to fly with any airline to any place. He's banned for 5 years. So he was actually banned for 5 years plus 3 years of imprisonment. So these and all conditions comes up when you are working with an aviation. Okay, so you need to be very careful. This applies for even staff also. If an employee complains to his employer stating that one of the employees is teasing him, then your job is gone. Then you are being imprisoned. So this goes with the passenger, this goes with the employee, this goes with the employer also. If an employee is complaining about an employer stating that he or she is harassing to do an extra duty, gone. DGCA will cancel off the license of that particular airline, and you wouldn't be able to fly it again. So, all these kinds of, there are passengers who have missed their aircraft. Okay, it's because of their own mistake. They come to us and they start shouting, "Oh, 25,000 I have paid and you missed my aircraft, that, this and all." I've seen passengers coming at the end moment and asking for seats. Okay, please give me. I had a Jaipur passenger, believe it or not. Oh my God, I had a Jaipur passenger who asked me for a seat. He has come. His aircraft is departing within 10 minutes, and he has come for check-in. So please keep in mind, for domestic flights, it is 45 minutes. Okay, this comes in your passenger check-in. So it's a point. If you'll have to note it down, please note it down. For domestic check-in, it's 45 minutes prior, you need to be reporting to the airport. Domestic check-in, you need to be reporting 45 minutes prior to the airport. Okay, 20 minutes prior, you need to be closing the counters. 25 is your time, because your turnaround time for the aircraft would be just 25 minutes. Within 25 minutes, you need to be doing everything for the aircraft. That is refueling, baggage loading, catering loading, everything, cleaning, everything should be done within this 25 minutes. Within 25 minutes, your aircraft door should be again closed for the next flight. If not, there is a delay. Since I already told you, entire aviation flies on time management. Okay, if there is a delay, then probably there might be a next flight landing on the runway, and you have a single runway. Taking off would get delayed. If you're delayed in the departure, you're delayed in the arrival. Okay, so 45 minutes prior, your check-in should start. 20 minutes prior, the counters should get closed. Actually, it's 25, but they have given up a point up to 20. Now, Coming back, if it is an international flight, 1 hour prior your counter should be closed. 1 hour prior your counter should be closed. Check-in should start before 3 hours. Check-in should start before 3 hours. 1 hour prior your counter should be closed. And it's the same time, 20 minutes prior your gate should be closed. Only then you would be able to depart your aircraft. So don't think of passengers, because if they are not on time, then it's not your mistake. Okay, so I have many such kind of. I was talking about the Jaipur passenger, where a passenger came up to me 10 minutes prior of his departure. 10 minutes, his flight is about to be pushed back. Okay, he's coming and telling me, "Ma'am, you please give my boarding pass." I said, "Sir, you wouldn't be able to fly on this particular aircraft. Please look onto the next aircraft. You'll have to purchase a new ticket." So this guy is telling, "I know you have sold my seats to someone else. That is the reason you're not allowing me." I said, "We have no such kind. If your seat is vacant, your seat is vacant. I don't put anyone else in that seat, because we don't tend to get any loss because of that." Okay. So then he's telling me, "Sir, please, आप एक बार मुझे check in कर दो. I know there won't be seats available, but I will stand in the aircraft and I'll go." So that was the major thing I have heard for the first time, when a person is telling that he will stand in the aircraft, as in he'll stand in a bus and he'll go. He's telling me that he'll stand in the aircraft and he'll go. So all these kind of crazy passengers you will be getting. But it's fun working in airport, yeah. Believe it or not, it's fun working in airport. So don't think that whatever job you do, it's actually wrong. Okay, being a cabin crew is not at all wrong, yeah. So don't think in that way. You are actually surrounded by a lot of laws. You will be protected by your captain. You know, it's great. It's great. It's a great job. If you think about ground, yes, you would be less compared to the pilots and the cabin crews, but the respect for you guys is high. Okay, even the cabin crews call you ma'am. So even if you're paid less compared to them, no. So don't think about oh, I'm a ground. So no, the entire process is done by you. You are the base of that particular airline. Without you checking in, none of the passenger will go. Without you boarding, none of the passenger will board the aircraft. Without you putting the baggage into the inside the hold of the aircraft, right? The baggage won't go by itself. So it is the entire entire operation is done by you. So don't mind even getting paid less, because you are the base of it. Because of me, my aircraft is flying. So that should be the point where, these are all don't think that I'm just wasting your time, because this is a part of your passenger service, what I told you last class. All these comes under your passenger service. Now, in that passenger service, I had missed you some sorts, which I will be telling you now. I didn't tell you about the components of an airport, right? The components of an airport would be runway, apron, taxiway. Okay. If you could note it down, it's always be good, because actually that is when I quickly looked up and I found out that I have not said you that. Just see whether I have any such kind of slide to show you. Now, any other doubt? Any other doubt?
No, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Ma'am, in your point of view, which department of aviation has a lot of opportunities?
Ha ha ha. See, I don't tell you that the only this particular thing is having Opportunity? No. Everything in aviation is having, it's wide open. Okay, everything is having. Now, if you'll have to totally think on the salary base, I don't think so. It would be able to achieve for you. You might be having an option. ATC is the one because they pay you tremendously, and but you should think of the job also because scary job, risky job. You need to be very much aware, alert 24 bar 7. Okay, they pay you like hell, tremendous payment. You which is non-handleable from our side. Okay, so uh, then if you talk, yes, of course, as Divya said, it is the pilots. Okay, so pilots would be getting paid well and nice. Then it will be the cabin crew. Then comes the ground, because even if ground is actually, comes under payment kind of less things, but the entire operations is actually done by them. In that also you have bifurcations, because ramp staffs would be paid little more, and customer service staff would be paid little less. So see, all the payments and things is based on the risk whatever you take. Okay, now you have no risk with any of the passenger. You just need to listen with them, fight with them, and that's all goes with the passenger. So you don't have any risk. But when you talk about ATC, you have a lot of risk. With your mistake, there might be a possibility of two aircraft crashing, right? And one aircraft might consist of 500, another might consist of 200. If there's a wrong crash, then there is a loss of life for 700 passengers, and only because you slept for a while. So that's a very complicated one. If you talk about the pilots, then yes, if you're missing, you don't know where you're flying, you don't know, you're losing what, your work is not properly done, you're not giving information to ATC. Again, that many lives in your aircraft is depending on you, yeah? So you are the base for them. So, again, a risky job. Cabin crew, you never know what happens on board. Bomb, hijacking, craziest thing. So, you know, that's also a risky job. Now, when you come to ground, why I said you about cargo is that cargo is a very complicated process. If you say you tend to get more of dangerous goods in that. Okay, if you're packing, if your marking goes missing, the person who is offloading in the other destination might not know. Let's say you have a dangerous good, you have a toxic substance on board, and you have done a wrong marking. Okay, and he literally pulls it out thinking it is something else, and he's affected by that. Okay, let's say there's an acid on board, and you have done a wrong marking with some other thing. Okay, you put it as an let's say as in a corrosive or things like that. When it is falling on his hand, he will get hurt, and right again there is a there is a problem in another's life. So cargo is again a complicated process. You should also be alert. So that's the reason a ramp staff gets even more paid. Okay? Everyone working near to the aircraft is paid much. Now, why customer service is paid little less compared to all of these is only because you're not doing anything outside. You're not doing anything near to the aircraft. You're just focusing the passenger. That's all. So your payment for that is little less. But I don't tell you that, according to me, if you get an opportunity, please explore everything. Everything. Because you get to learn lots. But I know ATC and pilot is not that easy. You will have to gain some knowledge. Okay, you should have some base. Even for ATC, the base is
Ma'am,
science,
for
physics, and that.
ATC, should we have DGC, ma'am, for that also?
Of course, DGCA gives it is in for ATC also. DGCA gives the licensing. They have it. ATC is the first one which should have DGCA licensing. So for again for that basis science, physics and math should be there, must.
Yes, ma'am.
It's
Okay.
not an easy job. It's not an easy job. Okay, actually, I had left one thing in your portions. Okay, in your last lesson, which is this visible. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, now.
Yeah, actually, I had left this, and it is not left. I forgot it actually to tell you because this is actually implemented in one of the slide, whatever I told you. But I believe I quickly went off, or I missed the slide. Now this, as in when I spoke about the pilot, then I came to know, oh, I have not done that portion. Okay. Now, components of an airport layout. Okay. I told you what a layout is, like how your airport is being designed. Okay. I told you about your land side, I told you about your air side, I told you about your terminal building. Okay. So these are the three types of building given there. Now in your terminal building only you have three types. So this is not there in the slide, guys. Please make a note of it. Whatever I'm saying you quickly, if possible, write it down because your questions also might depend on it. Now in the terminal building, now airport layout consists of three. One is parking, which is land side. Okay. The other one is your terminal building, and the third one is your air side. Now in your land side comes all the parking, right? All the parking areas comes under your land side. If we talk about the terminal building where your passenger movement happens, okay, you have terminal building is again been divided into three areas. Okay, one is your each airline term it as different words. So one is your safe one where your departures, that is your counters and all coming. Then after your SHA is a what do you call that? Okay, after your SHA is an emergency area. Okay, and
Ma'am,
your
SHA full form?
SHA is security hold area. Your PSC, that is your where your CSF stands
Okay,
for
ma'am.
check-in. Okay. Your BMA, BBA comes under immune zone. Okay. So BMA, BBA comes under immune zone. Why I will say you, in your counters, in your boarding gates, you have staffs to divert. Now let's say there's a bomb in an airport and you need to be evacuated immediately from the airport. So you have staffs who helps you to evacuate from check-in counters and from boarding gates. But however, BMA there is or BBA there is no passengers, right? There is only staffs. They need to be directing themselves. So they need to follow the directions. They need to see the signboards and vacate the building. So that is called as an immune zone because there won't be any passengers in that. Okay, immune zone need to be remembered by that. And the third one is the air side. Air side is where your airports maneuvering, taxiing, takeoff, landing, everything comes into action. Okay. Now, coming to the components of an airport layout, this is the main components. Okay, certain important components in the entire airport. Okay, first thing is the runway. Without a runway, there is no airport layout. Second one is your terminal building. Your passenger movement should happen safely, right? Your commercials, everything should happen safely. So it is terminal building. Number 3, Apron is where all the maneuvering, taxiing way, everything takes place. Okay, where the parking has been done by the aircraft. Taxiway is where when you have a runway. Let me see if there is an image here. Yeah, this is the taxiway. If you could see, yeah, this is the taxiway. Okay, I've named it here. And this is the runway. So runway is connected by the taxiway. If you could see, 4 taxiways I have made it here. Okay, these are